Hello, this is Gyasi. I'm here with 932. We're on tour. This is Eindhoven at the moment. Yes, I'm doing good. I'm adjusting to the jet lag. We flew in yesterday to Amsterdam, and yeah, it feels pretty like we're kind of already sort of in the groove, and we walked around the city today. It was really nice, and yeah, let's go. We're ready. We're doing 15 shows in like 18 days, something like that. So it's balls to the wall on this one. Yeah, it's kind of a big loop on this tour, yeah, which I think is good. Makes sense, you know. It's not doing it. We've done plenty of tours where we're like driving back past things that we've already driven past, like, that looks kind of familiar. So this time it's kind of more of a loop, so yeah, it kind of works out to start here, and we go and then we come back and finish here, and then boop, fly out. So. It's been good. A lot of them were, you know, I've kind of worked in over the years, not over the years, but over the last year. So there are a few, by the time the record came out, you know, it takes so long between recording and vinyl pressing. A good number of them had already kind of been in the set. But actually for this tour, we were playing at least two, maybe three songs that we've never done on tour before from the album. Just because it was like, you know, we're touring this album, and it's like, let's learn all the songs and try all of them, you know. So it's been good. It's been good. Yeah, especially like some of the new ones, we're adding like some piano and just some other sounds to kind of, you know, broaden the sound a little bit. But I think it'll be good. I think it'll be fun. Yeah, it is. It is. They evolve. I mean, it depends on which songs it is, you know. But they definitely take on their own, you know. They kind of tell you where you need to go once you start playing them live. So a few of them have evolved quite a bit, and others we recorded after we had already started playing them a few times. So there were a few on the record that were songs that we had already played live. So then when we did the record, we kind of did them exactly. You're trying to capture. Then you're doing the opposite thing where you're trying to just take what you do live and capture it. So it's kind of a mix of both. Oh, definitely. Yeah, quite a lot, I would say. Yeah, it's more that way than the other way around. It's definitely not like it's just sounds just like the record. You know, there's quite a bit of improvisation and you know, expanding parts, and yeah. The goal is that they're both good in their own way, you know, equally good, you know. The record stands on its own, but then the live show goes further and does things that you can't do on record. That changes a lot. It changes, yeah, I feel like it changes every night, you know. Certain nights, some songs just feel really good. It's like, oh, that's the favorite. Then on other nights, a different song might just be like the one that was for that night, you know. So I think the crowd's energy really kind of changes what feels the best, but I feel, you know, there are some songs that kind of are always good. Godhead is one that I really, it's actually not off this record, it's off the last record, but that song just has this kind of arc to it that's really satisfying to play. 23 is also another favorite. Yeah, it just depends. I'm trying to think if there's any animals mentioned in any of the songs. I mean, peacocks are kind of always in the periphery of my music because I grew up on a farm with peacocks, so I grew up around them all the time. So on my first, I guess it was my first EP, there's a song that has like a peacock call in it. But on this record, I would say definitely there's some peacocking, you know, there's some flamboyance. And then I would say also a cheetah as well, because there's a little ferocity as well. So it's kind of a balance of those two kind of personalities. There's the you know, raw rock and roll energy, but there's also, you know, hopefully some beauty as well. Maybe. I don't know I'm always working on songs all the time. I write a lot. So I kind of have this whole backlog of music that I'm working on. As far as how it will come together and be a next record, I don't know yet. But that song, that was kind of one really that was more of it's kind of a leftover. It's not a super new, it's not, it was one of the new songs for the record, but it didn't make it on the vinyl. So it was kind of a leftover extra song. And so we decided to put it out. And that song also is a little different from the rest of the record in some way. It's a very piano-based song. So I thought it was cool to kind of, to just put that out and show the side. I don't know yet if the next record will be more in that vein or if it will be more of the straight rock stuff. Because I feel like I'm writing kind of both right now. So how they will balance out in a record, I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. I tend to make a mix of things, a lot of, that's kind of, usually the records I like a lot have that sort of, ebb and flow to them, light and shade, the peacock and the cheetah, those are the two personalities that kind of come out a lot in records. Although there's another part of me that kind of likes the idea of doing something really like, this is the record that is kind of this one energy and making it really all fit that. So there's that temptation as well. So I don't know what will win. Some artists that, obviously I think it's pretty obvious that my music is heavily influenced by David Bowie. I think just his approach to art in general and life is, very inspiring and provides inspiration in multiple different ways, and also inspiration to incorporate, very different elements and combine them. And I think, it's really interesting to see what happens when you combine different things you're interested in. I just saw Iggy Pop like 2 weeks ago. I got to see him live for the first time, which was just a dream. And I find him just incredibly inspiring. Such an original figure, and just the power that he's able to create, but also a sense of like love and joy in the music. But that power, I think, is really, it's just like so inspiring to me. Who else? I try to look at a lot of new music as well. So I try to be inspired in different ways by lots of new artists as well. Anything that kind of catches my eye. This guy Gyasi who's an amazing songwriter. I think is doing lyrically really interesting things. Trying to think who else. It's like a newer. I don't know. Inspiration is everywhere. It really is. It's all over. So. I'm kind of always, finding little things I can, I like this part of that. It's like, how can I use that, or how can I, interpret that, so. Well, obviously the music is what kind of dictates everything else. So the music is what the theatricality and the clothing and everything is built off of. So I don't think any of that could overshadow the music, because the music is sort of what's in control, I think, of that. But I think to me it's like, you take the song, and any given song, it's like how can I become that song or enact the song, or what else can be done. Like once the music is there, it's like what will bring more dimension to it and more meaning, So a lot of this music is kind of sort of I'm kind of turning myself into a character, because there are a lot of different characters in the music and so it's like becoming those characters and dressing them and kind of presenting this otherworldness, I suppose. So that the idea is that between the costumes and the movements and the music, it all sort of hits you on multiple different senses and kind of transports you, and the idea is that you're sort of, the world melts away and you're in, this new dimension, or, whatever, for that time, for any given song. Because I've seen shows that made me feel that way, and I love that feeling. So that's my goal, that's always the idea, is is what can I do to you know, do that. So I design the clothes, I find fabrics and different things, and you know, experiment and try different things, and yeah, hopefully it, you know, works together to create something that's just more than just, you know, someone up there playing the songs. It's like, it's a whole experience. It's actually comes from a story my dad told from, I think, like probably the 70s or 80s. Him and a friend were hitchhiking, probably some questionable substances involved, and they got picked up by a real old timer. This is like in rural Virginia, you know, in like the late 70s, and they were hitchhiking. I think they were just out of high school, and there was this old timer, you know, like these old characters that you can still find them in the rural America, you know, driving them old pickup trucks, and they were riding along, and there was some music playing, and all of a sudden they're like cruising along, they were like talking and stuff, and all of a sudden the guy like was like, "Hold on, here comes the good part," and he turned it up. And like, I guess it was his, you know, some song that he knew, and he was like, there was one part of the song that he thought was like, this is the good part. And I always thought that was a funny story. And yeah, and then when I was writing a song, and there was kind of a playful moment where that kind of fit with the music. So that was in the song, and so I just thought it was kind of a funny tongue-in-cheek, you know, title. And then, you know, then other people have interpreted it as meaning, you know, like in someone's career. You know, I've been at this a long time, and so someone's like, maybe it means like, you know, here comes the good part in your career, like you're, you know, this record's helping you move forward, and you know. So I thought it was fun. It was a fun, you know, fun sentence that could be used in different ways. So. If you had a time machine and could go back to 1992, I think it's, yeah, 1992 to release music, would you? There's the band, the Lottery Winners. If you had a time machine to go back to 1992 and release music, would you? Yeah, totally. Yeah, the 90s I feel like were, you know, still kind of the old record industry, you know? Like you still could do really well off of album sales, you know? So yeah, I think that would actually be a nice time to release music, you know. And there was also the 90s, I think, one of the last times that had such a personality, you know. I feel like in the, you know, before music has become so multi-genre, and so like it doesn't have as much personality, it seems like these days, as like the 90s, where like it had its own energy and its own personality, and everyone was kind of riding a similar inspiration or kind of a new wave of inspiration. So I think it was a pretty exciting time, and yeah, I would totally. Yeah, come see a show. I promise you'll have a good time.